Namaste. Today is December 1, 2021. These are the important articles that one has to read for competitive exams, particularly UPSC. The first article is GDP grew 8.4% in Q2, but recovery appears patchy. This is in regards to our economic situation and the growth rate of GDP in our country, particularly in quarter 2, and this is GS3 topic. In order to get a perspective as to what our economy is doing right now or how our economy is doing right now would be the correct approach to it. This article is in that just. Now moving on, crypto bill to be brought soon. Remember, this is very important. Crypto is going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, is going to be the topic of discussion in our country, either politically, not in that regard, but in the regard of policy framework. So we have to start understanding that crypto and the underlying technology from now itself. Omicron doesn't escape RT-PCR rat test. This is again GS paper 2. This is in regards to the new variant of SARS-CoV-2. Remember, despite the number of cases reducing, despite the mortality rate getting under control, SARS-CoV-2 is going to be a part of our life for the foreseeable future. Likewise, UPSC is also going to be interested in that topic. That is why we have to maintain at least some sort of an understanding of what the current state of COVID-19 is. Now moving on, farm fires added 14.6% to cities PM 2.5 in November. Again GS paper 3 article. Remember, in India, when it comes to the pollution of northeastern states, not only northern state but also southern states, one area that doesn't get discussed that much, which should be discussed with full vigor and potential, is the role of farm fires or crop burning in adding to pollution. That is why farm fires are to be taken seriously. Their data should be considered because this will certainly add value to your answer whenever something is asked in that regard. And not only that, in order to stay ahead of the curve, you must also learn mitigation techniques, mitigation solutions, mitigation technologies that are available, that are needed to be made available to farmers in order to address this crop burning issues. Two factors: how contributing are farm fires to the pollution in our country? What role do they play in pollution in our country, or the percentages or concentration of pollution in our country? The second, how should the government tackle the issue of crop burning in our country? Remember, these should be the approach when you are reading certain articles. Now moving on to next. Coming to page number 5, Kerala to act against vaccine hesitancy. This is Kerala's response to high percentage or high number of vaccine hesitancy cases in their respective state. This will help you in answering or at least giving an example in your mains answer when asked how various stakeholders are dealing with the issue of vaccine hesitancy in our country. This would be a very good example to be given when you are writing answer. Coming to page number 6, editorial, small grant but a big opportunity for local bodies. This is in regards to the release of grants to states as health grant to rural and urban local bodies. This is a very important topic currently in the health crisis that India is going through, where every aspect of Indian health policy is being questioned, tested and rejigged at some or the other level. These kinds of allocation of funds to particularly urban and local bodies is a important step, and the role that these bodies play in our response to any future health crisis is also of paramount importance. This editorial covers those areas. Please do read that this article from that perspective. Very important, do not skip it. Moving on, Afghanistan, the rise of narco terror or terrorist state. So this is a new term that probably, if you have seen the TV series Narcos from Netflix, you might have already known this. But in this context, you have a state, a rogue state in the form of Taliban controlling the Afghanistan, and they are using narcotics as a means to earn money and they are trying to convert it into a narco state. The added bonus on top of that is Taliban are nothing but terrorists. So they are using terrorism and they are using their state as a narcotics base, and that is how the narco terror state of Afghanistan is being built right now in the hands of Taliban. So now it is of utmost importance that we have to understand the fallout, the potential fallout or the already happening fallout from this narco terror state on India's security. That is how this article discusses, or that is the area where this article is dealing with. And again, very important, because this not only deals with the role of Taliban in Afghanistan, but the potential fallout that they pose to India's national and internal security. Coming to op-ed, India's informal economy has not shrunk. Learn as much as you can about India's informal economy, the role it plays in overall economy, and if possible, learn how the government of India can frame policy so that it strengthens the informal economy of country in a better and a positive way. Controlling the crypto genie, again related to cryptocurrencies and the underlying technologies. Read this article in that regard. Coming on to page number 8, Uttarakhand shrines out of government control. So this is something that not related to exam, but just read this for information sake. Exam perspective, not at all important, just read it for information sake. Moving on, Admiral Harikumar is Navy Chief. Learn the process of selection of Navy Chief in our country, not only of the Navy Chief, also of other two services, Army and Air Force. That would certainly help you in giving an understanding as to how the tri-services chiefs are selected for their top post. Cannot wait for Vijay Mallya, forever says SC. Why is Supreme Court saying that? Just read it. Exam perspective, not important. Just read it for that understanding sake. Moving on to page number 9, new crypto bill will be introduced soon, government. Again, crypto bill, read it from that perspective. Amid din in Lok Sabha, Riju introduces judges bill. Learn what this judges bill is, the potential impact it is going to have on Indian judiciary. Is the Indian judiciary opposing to this bill or not? From that perspective, read this article. Government appoints 3-member panel to review EWS quota. Have a complete 360-degree understanding of EWS quota, because this issue is not going to go away anytime soon. Even if the panel comes out with a report, there would be some sort of a challenges in the courts of our country. EWS quota is going to be in the news for a long period of time, or at least foreseeable future. So we have to concentrate on that topic. Moving on, 6 lakh Indians renounced citizenship. So you have to understand the process behind renouncing our Indian citizenship, the process, the constitutionality of it, and why they are doing it. So that would be something that you have to understand. This can be directly related to the brain drain concept that is being discussed recently with the announcement of Twitter CEO being an Indian, or an Indian born individual who migrated to US. So the brain drain idea concept is going to be something on the minds, so you have to read about that also. Coming to page number 10, Home Ministry extends safety norms for COVID-19 till December 31. Why are they doing it? What are those safety norms? That is how you have to approach that article. CAG flags delays in Army's offloading model. So what is offloading models? Why is CAG finding fault with Army's offloading model? What are the potential threats that CAG has found out during its annual checks? To invade Ukraine, at least occupy some territory in Ukraine. So keep this point of investigation or point of study open. This is going to be something very important. Pentagon reviews US posture towards China. So this is again how US is reorienting itself for its foreign policy in order to counter China's growth or aggressive actions. Omicron raises some concerns in China over Winter Games. Just informative, exam point of view. Prelims they might ask where, I don't think that simple question would be asked, but just be aware of where Inter Olympics are taking place. Coming to business, core sector growth rebounds, important. Excise mop-up from fuels doubled in FY21. Fiscal deficit was 36.3% of estimate at end October. Rising tariff moratorium to help telcos in 5G play. Twitter tweaks private info policy. So these are in regards to context. The Iran-US deadlock over nuclear capability. This gives you at least some sort of an understanding of what is the current scenario in regards to Iran nuclear deal. So read this article from that perspective.